Getting better and getting pucks deep, putting the puck deep.
Put pucks in deep.
He's chipping pucks. He's getting pucks deep.
Getting a lot of pucks deep. Getting pucks deep.
Just put the puck deep.
Getting pucks out. Getting pucks deep.
Get pucks deep. Wear them down.
Get pucks in.
Pucks in.
Pucks in deep.
Puck deep. Pucks deep. Keep getting pucks deep and deep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a finally overdue podcast of the Pucks and Deep podcast. I said podcast twice, didn't I?
It might have been more.
It might have been more.
Ism.
This is a very, very overrated. Overrated. I said
Overrated?
overrated. I was gonna say
Yeah,
overrated.
we're just calling ourselves overrated now. This is great.
Well, we haven't
The YouTube
podcasted in a
comment-
month.
The YouTube comments are finally winning.
I know, right? We've been needing to do this for a good bit, so here we
tried,
are.
but last time some dumb fuck forgot the camera battery.
We're not going to talk about that one because I know Kylan is a little sensitive about that one right now. You know, it's all Kylan's fault, as everyone knows in this world. It's always Kylan's fault,
It's
no matter
always
what.
Kylan's fault.
Yeah,
Even
No
my
matter
boss
what
agrees with
happens, it's
that.
always Kylan's fault, no matter what
I'm
happens.
the one that owns the camera that we use to record.
Yes.
Even my
Yes,
boss
definitely.
agrees.
Yep, Kylan's fault. Kylan sucks. Okay,
Yeah, that's what it is.
we have a lot to talk about here. Do we guys want to start about the conference finals, or do we want to go straight to the big
yeah,
one?
it's a conference.
Go
Yes,
straight to
let's
conference finals?
shit on Mason Marchment and his Dallas Stars.
All right, before we talk about the Dallas Stars and all that, I think we should just breeze by the Eastern Conference Finals. That was
Carolina's a joke.
not even close
What,
at all.
Carolina fucking off.
Like, what do you have to do with this Carolina team? Like, there's shit.
You have to get a different look.
We're
at coach.
talking about the Leafs here. Like, they're
I
the
don't think
biggest
it's
chokers
I don't,
right now.
I don't think it's Rod Brindamore. I mean,
His
if
systems don't
you
work
if you really like
in
truly
the third round. You get
Well-
to that top team, that top two teams in the Eastern Conference, and like Paul Maurice twice now has dominated the coaching game against Brindamore, and that he got out coach. Who was the Bruins coach in 2019? Was that still Bruce Cassidy?
I want to say it was Bruce Cassidy. I want to say it was Cassidy.
gotta look at the players though at the same time. Like even Brindamore said they never expected to go this far with this group of guys. Like
See, that's a terrible fucking thing.
That
to
is a
throw out when
horrible
you
thing
make
to
that
say
far-
when you're a
make it that far.
Stanley Cup contender each year. Like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
treat this team like a cup contender each year.
we treat them like a cup contender, but realistically they have Stankoven will lead that team now, but
As long as they have Aho, it's Aho.
I like Carolina, but I'm not sure like how much they could really go for here because like you have a group of guys that obviously can't make it past that third round. They can't make it past Florida at least. So I mean,
This is
do you
gonna
blow it
sound
up
odd.
or do you like? Because at the same time, I also think to myself, and you can shit on me for this. From what I saw, they don't really have a goalie. Like Anderson played well in the first two rounds. Kachetkov is okay, but they don't really have that starting goaltender presence that you're looking for. So I'm wondering, do they look at like Swayman because Swayman wants out of Boston? Do they look at getting Swayman?
Is it confirmed Swayman
Does
wants out?
Swayman,
I'm pretty
Do
sure.
we
Okay, I
consider
was gonna say, I
Swayman
won't know if
better
he-
than Frederick Anderson at this point after this year?
After, I would consider him, yes, for the pure reason that he's first off younger, so he's gonna have more time. And one bad year doesn't make a goaltender. You should know this for a fact. One bad year doesn't make a goaltender. I'm talking about Markstrom.
I was gonna
Markstrom.
say, how
No.
should
Yeah.
I know this? I haven't had to worry about a bad year.
I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
talking about Markstrom. Like Markstrom had one bad year in Calgary, his first year in Calgary. Bounced back was
he was
fantastic.
god awful in 2023.
I think Freddie
Yeah.
had a pretty good season. I think you can win with a goaltender like Frederick Anderson. It's just,
the
first
fact
of all,
that they're able to make it to round 3 was Freddie.
again, what available replacement is there? Goaltenders are very shaky. You trade for Swayman, and he continues this form. That's $8.2 million that you're not getting back.
No, 100%.
Right? Like,
but
what can you possibly do to fix? I have to say, like, you got to think it's the culture inside the locker room right now.
But I wonder if that all starts with
Jordan Stahl.
I was gonna say I wonder if that starts with your leadership group. Like I don't think it's the coaching at that point. I wonder if it's the leadership group.
I've always had an issue with Jordan Stahl as a captain in the NHL. He's a great player for a long time, but I feel like Sebastian Aho should be the head of that team.
Or even like this is gonna be weird to say, but or even like Aho, Slavin, or if or
I'd put
or-
Slavin as a
or-
captain. That
or
guy
if
yells
you-
captain to me.
Or if you really want like if you really want a veteran guy being your captain, give Aho an A, give Slavin an A, make Burns your captain, switch something up.
Brent Burns is not the right choice.
Not the right choice,
I'm
but-
saying they have other guys on that team
Like
that could be
Svechnikov, I
like
think, has done
Svechnikov,
enough
that
at
sort
this
of thing.
point.
He could at least wear an A.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
like there's options
You've got
you
to start
have.
turning it over to your young superstars.
I still think that if Kochetkov can develop, he'll be a good goal. He'll be a decent starter. He'll be like a Stuart Skinner level starter. But and I'm talking about Stuart Skinner in the third round, not the first two.
Even against Vegas, he
Carolina-
shut Vegas out twice in a row.
Yeah, that's the second half of the second round.
Carolina has become the Atlantic's beating boys at this point. They run through the Metro because, like, let's be honest, the Metro is probably the weakest division on.
Oh, it's
right
bad
now.
right now.
I mean, Pacific has an argument, but I think the Metro's weaker. What? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Metro.
two
Well,
teams
who's
in
in Metro? Isn't Washington in
so
Metro?
it was Washington, Carolina, New
Yeah,
Jersey.
but look what Carolina did to Washington. They
Yeah, true.
made them look like a joke.
Yeah, well, you have 40-year-old Ovi who's getting tired.
Right? Like, is Washington really a real contender? They were great this
They
year.
never
I
were.
thought
They
were
coming
great
coming
this year.
coming off the regular season, I thought they were. So
I knew nothing good ever happened, so I chose the Florida Panthers. Also, I won the bracket challenge, FYI, everyone. So suck it. Yeah.
I forgot we did that. I won't lie to you. Did you remember we did that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
no,
fair.
it's only because I chose Florida to win the cup. So
They're down 1-0 in the finals. You
yeah, but I
haven't won
still
shit
won it
yet.
by the conference finals because I'm the only one that chose a team that was in the finals. So
Okay.
but
Florida.
I don't even remember who I had when
That no, I don't.
it was straight belt to ass all series long.
Yeah, that Florida Carolina series is bad.
I don't think there's much you can talk about there. Like
No,
straight belt to ass.
it's like yeah, that was bad.
Now we're gonna talk about the series that's a little bit more fun. Dallas Edmonton, which I was still
That was a good
shocked
series.
was so short.
Yeah.
But
Dallas were fucking frauds.
obviously-
Winnipeg were frauds this year too. I will be the first one to say it. But Dallas
don't-
was.
I don't think Dallas. I mean, okay, I don't think Dallas were frauds necessarily. What I do think though,
They couldn't score on Stuart Skinner.
fuck, Stuart Skinner's been playing phenomenal recently.
He
I don't know
has
if you
been.
fucking been
You
watching the
have
games.
Mikko Rantanen, who, by the way, fucking vanished.
Well, that's the issue though, and this is the thing. Like I was talking with some of my coworkers, but if you watch that Stars team, they had one player. They had Rantanen, who's scoring consistently. Granlund is your second line center. He was scoring pretty consistently, but realistically, your one guy that was like your big points guy.
I would put Rupe Hintz, I think, had a good series until Nurse decided to chop his arm off. But
Had a
Like-
solid game then.
Yeah, it's all game till he has his leg chopped.
yeah,
But it's one of those.
Fuck the Stars. They deserve it. Should have kicked it.
I wonder which team he would choose for.
Anyways, but
Fuck
no.
Mason Marchment specifically.
If you watch, they had one like you shut down Rantanen and you shut down like 90% of their offense.
No, but it was shocking too because like if you look at it on paper, like Wyatt Johnson had a horrible series. I think he was
Yeah.
actually.
he had a horrible.
I think he was
playoff.
the plus minus leader, like lowest leader. Obviously, he was in far negatives.
Yeah, I know.
like he was
Yeah, wasn't
horrible.
he like a -14?
That's a guy that needs to step up. Ben Segan were invisible. Duchesne was invisible. Sorry, Sagan. Duchesne was invisible that
yeah.
series.
Well, no, they had a good. The veteran guys had a good first game, but the rest of the series they were invisible.
Yeah. I mean,
How about Jake Ottinger taking all the blame?
We'll get
US
to that.
backup.
We'll get to that in a
Yes.
second. We'll get to that in a second.
the only guy that really showed up in that series, I won't even say Rantanen was at his peak either. That
Rantanen was a
entire
ghost.
series.
Robinson.
Robertson had a great series.
Robertson had a good series.
But it wasn't like let's be honest. If you had Robertson, Hintz, like if you had all of those,
No,
guys
that Stars team
at,
should have been
like,
a lot better.
half percentage, they should win that series.
Yeah.
That firepower
And then
is
I'll
ridiculous.
be completely honest, and this is something I'm going to talk to you. I want to ask you guys about. After that whole, we'll get into this now. So that whole blow up of the drama between Peter DeBoer and Jake Ottinger. You have a DeBoer coming out and basically blaming Ottinger.
I'm not gonna put all the blame on him, but I'll put most of it on him.
Oh,
No,
no.
No, that's
no.
basically what DeBoer said. I'm not saying I put the blame on him.
Okay.
I still think he's
thought you
the
were
U.S.
saying-
backup, but
Yeah, but you have a bias.
I was
do.
gonna say Ottinger was.
Ottinger,
He was
had
a
bad
top
series.
top three goaltender this playoffs.
Yeah, but
I
he had,
cannot
he had,
speak
he had a
for
bad
he
he
was
had a bad
better
series.
than Hellebuck in round 2, and that hurts to say. But I mean,
He
But
was.
he
That's
but
the
he,
reality.
he had a bad series, and you know what? Goaltenders can have not like comparatively.
say that much.
Comparatively to his other series, I mean,
Okay, no, but like if you
when you
look
get
at
out-dueled
most.
by Stuart Skinner, you had a bad series.
Okay, but you also have to look at the quality of shots too.
you know that's fair.
There
That's
was
fair. I
a
didn't think
lot of
that.
defensive
Yeah.
breakdowns there.
That's what I was
especially-
also. That's what I was
I'm willing to
saying. I was
throw
gonna-
out the same thing I throw out for Connor Hellebuck in that Four Nations final. It was a lot of Connor McDavid and Leon
The one
Draisaitl
game-
being alone.
The one game I will say was his fault. I think no, even Game 5, there was a couple questionable ones.
I would
What I
have
was
left
gonna-
him in and
Game
given him.
5, I
What I was-
understand it.
what I was gonna
but like
say
the
was-
team came out flat too. You can't
them
say
too
it's all
early.
an Ottinger.
If you're having this many, like, now we've seen what DeBoer obviously said, and this morning found out he was fired. Which, first off, I'd like to say I think that was the right move. If you reach conference finals twice, 2 years in a row, and have that piss poor of a performance, I think you gotta have the coaching go.
Peter DeBoer is a conference finals merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter DeBoer is a Game 7 merchant.
This guy cannot seem to get past the conference finals.
No.
He's got past
No.
once, and it was with San Jose.
And what happened in that Cup final?
They lost.
And it was bad.
Yeah.
It's one of those where, but either way with Peter DeBoer, I'm wondering if that sort of less confidence he had there, they showed in the media. I wonder if that was translated in those last 2 games when you had Otter have, I think it was 1 or 2 shaky goals, wasn't it?
2.
He let in
There's
2.
two?
Yeah,
2-on-2
2.
shots and he
Two
got
shaky
yanked.
goals.
Shout out Odger
But
on having
I
a
wonder-
0% save percentage in Game 5.
I'm just saying, like,
Connor Hellebuck at least never let in 2-on-2.
I'm just
US
saying.
backup.
I wonder. I'm wondering if that sort of less confidence.
When it comes
That
to
you could
Ottinger,
tell-
I'm always going to throw out Hellebuck.
Do you want to let me fucking
We're
finish?
talking
fuck you.
about the Stars. The Jets were last week.
Who
Yeah,
cares
fuck
about the Jets?
Stars.
Let's
Me.
leave the
They're
Jets
more entertaining than the
back.
Stars.
We're talking about the Stars right now. Okay, Kylan,
I'm
continue
wondering
your
if
point.
if that sort of mistrust or less confidence in Ottinger was being pushed through in the locker room, and if you could tell that, because that can also that. Tell me if you're starting goaltender and you basically
No, you gotta point it to
and you
mental
played
position, yeah.
fantastic throughout the whole series, and then you've had a couple games where your defense have given you no help, and you can't like save a team. Even Hellebuck can't save a team.
It was like me on Friday.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But you like you know what I mean? Like with the mentality, like I wonder if part of that impacted any of Ottinger's play because it can affect it. And you know, if I'm a goaltender, I'm going in. And even if I'm a player, I'm going in, and the coach obviously doesn't have trust in me. That's gonna affect how I play. Like you're gonna be.
I can
you're
speak
gonna be,
to that
You're gonna
personally.
be gripping your stick tighter. You're gonna be overthinking each play you make. You're gonna dwell on everything. Like, and then pulling him that early. I just love. There's something I saw where it was just it was just Smith when he was sent in. It's just him going.
And the first goal, I believe, first shot, DeSmith allowed in too. I believe too.
Yeah, he did.
Right? Like I
First
don't
or
know.
second.
Okay, if you're in DeBoer's shoes, Ottinger allows
Thank God
2
I'm
on
not.
2. No. But like, do you guys still do the same thing?
No, I would. It's a do or die game. You got to ride with your guys, and Jake Ottinger is your guy in net.
I was
and
gonna
you have
say,
to give him that chance.
I
to get it
understand
back.
trying to get a spark because the team comes out flat. You're down 2-0. Goaltender allows 2 goals on 2 shots.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't say
if
both
you-
of them were his fault. I'd say one of them maybe. But like,
If
That
but,
Perry one is so hard to blame on him. How do you leave Corey Perry alone in front like that?
Simple as that.
He's
And
the
then
one guy you
and then
don't leave alone in front.
And then the other one is a breakaway. Like a breakaway. It's a breakaway dog. Like what do you want him
Where's
to
your
do?
defense? Yeah.
Where's your defense? Like if it's a breakaway, your defense has had a breakdown terribly.
Mason Marchman
if I want
murdered Hyman to try to win the series, and it still didn't work. Fuck Mason Marchman.
if generational hate.
He's a pussy.
Okay, moving on.
Dude, if it was Stars Florida, Marchment versus Bennett, this guy is wet
You wouldn't
dream.
watch
Holy
it.
shit.
I hope they
watch.
both get hurt.
Okay.
I hope they injure each other with the flying elbows.
Okay.
elbow each other at the same time.
They would,
Okay.
and they'd both bitch about it after too.
All right, continue, Kyle.
Okay. If I wanted to do a jump start for my team, if I was DeBoer, pull Otter. Just hear me out. Pull Otter. Send your not you because he's gonna be pissed at you. Send your goalie coach down that hallway. Because Otter just went straight to the hallway. Your goalie needs to get out of his head. I'd send your goalie straight down.
I'm shocked Otter doesn't want out. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, they fired DeBoer. That's probably the 2 options: either Otter's out or DeBoer's out.
And one is way more valuable than the other.
Yeah, no fucking.
One
kidding.
is a franchise-altering goaltender.
but
The other's Peter DeBoer.
send.
Yeah. The other is a guy that can make it to the 3rd round. At least you can play conference finals hockey.
But Kyle, continue on your
Sorry,
point.
guy.
Send that goalie coach down that hallway and tell Otter and just say, Otter, I know you're frustrated. We pulled you. This has nothing to do with you. This is our guys. You need a jump start. Stay hot. Stay back here. Stay hot. You're going back in second period.
I missed
But
the
they
first
didn't do
period,
that.
So
No, 100%. But that's what they should have done, is I'm saying, because that first period, I watched it because I was at the store still. They came out so flat. Like,
Did
I'm
he call a
talking
timeout?
two-boy full.
Did he call a
He
timeout?
called a
Okay.
timeout, yelled at everyone.
He called a
then,
timeout. Otter went to go back to his net, and he gave him the fucking funniest pull.
Fuck
I
your
remember
No,
that, yeah.
it wasn't.
I
He
remember
didn't.
that. Never mind, I
he
saw the
just
clip.
straight up goes, points at him, and he's just like style points for pulling your goaltender. He wanted style points for pulling his franchise goaltender in a do or die game.
Like I said, and Devin said he agrees with me on this. If I was to pull my franchise goaltender in that sort of game, I want to jumpstart for my team. I'm
You
sending
put him back.
I'm sending my goalie coach down saying, stay hot down. Don't come back to the bench. Stay hot in the tunnel. Just leave the game out there. Let the boys wake their shit up. I'm gonna yell at them. Let them wake their shit up. Stay back here, do some ball exercises, stay in your mental game properly. You're going back in and start a second.
Can I be completely honest with you, Kylan?
I put him back in.
I wouldn't send anyone to talk to him. I would wait till the intermission because,
Well,
just
I'm not
how
saying- I'm not
hot
saying-
Jake
I'm not
Ottinger
saying,
was.
I'm not saying right away, but I'd send him like after a couple minutes. I'd give him like
He was hot until the start of the second.
I
But
know,
that's
but-
also because he didn't get put back in. Like
That's
I
the thing.
saw,
I don't
I
blame
saw
the
clips
guy.
of-
No, no,
Like,
100%.
Oh no, no,
shit.
no. But I saw a clip. He's giving all his teammates and coaches the fist bumps as they're coming out
And
for
he
the
let-
second period.
just
and
watched
DeBoer looks for it, and Ottinger just stares him down. Just gives him the stare down.
I
like,
would have,
fuck
yeah,
you.
I would have still let him cool down for a couple minutes. I would have sent an assistant coach down there because he'd be pissed off at DeBoer. Of course, he would be.
I'd
just-
honestly,
and just tell
Jamie
him-
Ben, show your worth.
Actually, yeah, that or send your captain down there. Send Ben down there and have Ben look at him and say, "Dude,
Show your worth
this
something.
This is our fucking bad. This has nothing to do with you. Coaches told me to tell you, stay hot. You're going back and start a second.
It's going to mean a lot
Because
more coming
if
from
you-
the players
if-
who left
if-
you out to
if,
dry.
If you do it that way at like the 8-minute mark left in the first period, he has enough time now. He's like, okay, I got 28 minutes. Let me get back. Because at that point, as a goaltender, you're so hot. You're like, oh, I'm going back in. Okay, I have to reset now. But he can be in a quiet room for 8 minutes to get his head straight.
yeah.
If you do that with Ottinger like that, and if he comes out with his head fully on straight, none of the confidence. Because if you get pulled like that and then get put back in, that's not the coach. That is the purest definition of the coach saying, "I believe in you." It's the rest of the team that needed to be fucking woken up.
But DeBoer didn't believe
But
in him.
DeBoer
And
didn't believe in him.
his words proved that after.
Yeah, but I'm
He
saying
straight up
if
said,
if he had done that,
what was it? Ottinger's lost 7 of his last
6 or
8.
7.
Yeah,
Six or
6 to
7.
7 to the Oilers. So we
his
needed a
stats.
different look.
Yeah, but like I truly believe it. If you do that and you're basically telling Ottinger, I believe in you. It's our team, not you. Sit in that room, get your shit together. I think if you do that, I think Otter comes out, and I think that's at least
A motivated goalie.
if not a different result, at least a closer game than it was. I think that's either.
I mean, to be fair, then you get Connor McDavid breaking the game again at one point in the game. I mean, what can you do?
I
against
think-
that?
no, 100%.
That guy
But what
is so good at hockey.
But what I'm saying is, I think it's a different game at that point because your whole team's sitting there now thinking, okay, well now they have a martyr. They're thinking, okay, we got this for fucking Otter now.
Yeah.
So either changes the outcome of the game or at least brings it a lot closer, and it wouldn't be what it was. Is what I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
I
completely
guarantee
agree.
you those players are sitting on the bench like, after tonight, is Jake Ottinger still going to want to play for this team?
No. If
DeBoer's gone.
all
It's
of them,
good.
all of them, no, they didn't think.
I'm
that.
talking
I think
in that night.
Once you're
in that moment, it has to cross someone's
it
mind.
probably crossed their minds, but I think what really would have I gotta think the
Especially
veterans,
after the game.
imagine the veterans I know you hate him, but Jamie Benn, you got your
Fuck that guy.
You have Jamie Benn, Sagan, and Duchesne. Imagine them seeing that end post game pressure with DeBoer. At that point, you're veterans in this league. You know right away. Okay, that guy's fucking gone. You gotta know right away. You're like, okay, our coach is gone. We're having a new coach next year.
I think the vets are out this year. I don't think Jamie Benn's coming back.
I think
I
Jamie
doubt it.
Benn's time in the NHL should be fucking done.
Okay.
He's useless.
Obviously,
Devin-
there's
Devin has a lot of
lot
opinions.
of salt right now.
No, I've never
Um,
liked Jamie Benn.
No,
he
but
hasn't.
I think the Stars are going to use this as a time to say, okay, we need to move away from this leadership group and let the young guys come in. You have a great young core. This young core is still going to be
Heiskanen needs to be the captain of that
Heiskanen,
team.
Harley, Robertson,
Even
Rantanen,
Rantanen, yeah.
Johnson. They've
Harley,
got-
yeah, you said Harley.
I said Harley already.
fault.
And Ottinger, net. That's a great core.
That's a great core.
great core.
I think now here's a real question: if they were to leave, where do you put them? I put someone like a Jamie Benn fitting Florida style hockey.
If Jamie Benn plays another year, I think he goes home to Vancouver.
That's a possibility. I think he'd fit perfect with Florida style hockey though.
The one
while we're
team-
talking about these veterans in free agency, Jonathan Taves is pretty much a Winnipeg Jet.
I agree with that.
I'd love to
It's
see him in
pretty much
Winnipeg.
guaranteed.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, now here's
Give
the
him
thing:
the C.
is I don't know
God, no.
what Jamie Benn's priorities are. Is he
That's the
trying
other
to
thing.
get obviously if he's looking for contention? I think a good fit for him is Toronto.
I think he wants a cup. He
I
wants a
think
cup.
he needs to
You don't go to Toronto if you
is
want a
going to pay him.
cup.
No, Toronto's going to pay him because they have to either deal with Tampa or Florida, right? Now, if he's looking for a good pay cut,
Tampa
like a
are
good tax
fucking
cut,
frauds.
like let's be honest, if he's focused on the tax cut, I think a team like Nashville, Tampa, maybe take a pay cut in Florida. I can see that happen.
Yes.
Actually, I
Burn
could-
more money in
I could see-
Nashville on old people.
Actually, you want a
Actually-
team that got bitched physically? The Vegas Golden Knights.
No fucking
You're
kidding.
telling me Jamie
You're
Benn
fucking-
up against the Oilers?
You're
fucking
fucking telling me
Edmonton.
we got bitched physically. Jesus.
I think
Edmonton's
that's a
done
great mix.
such a good job of playing physically.
Knobloch's style is very, very focused on playoff hockey.
He has it wasn't even like that last year. Really.
know.
He wasn't
Well,
that he
he's
didn't
learned.
build that. It was after losing to Florida. He modeled their game and he was like, "I'm gonna shape this to what our superstars can do."
Let's be honest,
And he has
Florida
done it perfectly.
Florida has kind of changed the game because they've built this entire like freaking
Goon squad.
physical goon squad.
No, it's
monster.
the-
They're
no.
the modern day Broad Street Bullies.
I'm gonna-
Yeah,
I'm
And
gonna say this
It's gonna
honestly.
be a copycat league. I think a lot of teams are gonna start.
I'm gonna be
copying
honest,
that.
And I think
I'm
to an
super
extent,
happy about
Winnipeg
that.
should too.
I'm super happy with that. Hockey used to be a game.
Physical.
It used to be physical. In the late '90s, early 2000s, it was extremely physical. If you watch those old games, it was we're gonna send the puck. It was John Tortorella hockey. That's what I can say. We're gonna
Like-
put it in deep. It's your nitty gritty grassroots hockey.
The
Put
name
it in
I
deep,
can throw out one
push it
name
in there,
to
hit
back
them
that
hard, hit them fast. In playoffs, it was you throw fucking everything at them until they have nothing left. So if you have to go to those later games, they have nothing left.
Paul Maurice said it best in 2023. Pound the fuck out of their defensemen so they have nothing left for game 7.
And honestly, that was in my opinion, the best style of hockey. It was because in that
this
hockey,
Stanley
in
Cup
that
Finals,
hockey,
one game in, so fucking
in
entertaining.
that
incredible game.
in that hockey, it was first off it was entertaining for the fans, but you had your skill. You still had the skill.
The
back
skill
then.
and the physicality
The skill back
were
then,
a
you had the
perfect mix.
you had the speed. Didn't have as much speed. But you had speed back then, but then you also had physicality. Those are the three things that make hockey so great. The fact that they're doing this on fucking blades. They're
trying to kill
They're
each
going
other.
super fast, but then you can also have douchebags or
Samuel.
or massive guys like Bufflin who will try and
My
take
goat.
your fucking head off.
Yeah.
See, but I'm doing this just because you did mention the name. There's a big difference between certain douchebags that love to elbow goalies and big guys that hit you in your chest and break your sternum.
But that's what I made that difference. But I'm saying that's what it used to be like.
I
And
will always love
we
number
got- As
33.
we got towards 2010,
Come home.
as we got towards, and that's nothing to do with nothing bad towards him. As we got towards the Chicago era, I'm gonna call it because you had Kane coming in the league, you had Panarin coming in the league, you had Taves
well,
coming in the
when
league.
the dynasty days, you had Kane. Taves was a pretty physical guy.
15,
Decently.
16 draft class of like the McDavid, the Matthews, the Marners, the Stromes. I can't believe I
From-
said Dylan
from
Strome.
probably- from-
Eichels, right? They're all
Dylan-
skilled guys.
Yeah,
Dylan
from
Strome was
probably
a
about-
top 3 pick in
probably about
2015. That's why you said
from
it.
probably about 2010 on, the game moved more towards speed and skill,
And
moved
then,
away from physicality.
but I mean, then you get Matthew Tkachuk in 2016.
Johnny Gaudreau, that's a guy that revolutionized the game, right? Simple as
yeah,
that. Like, yeah.
speed and skill. So game moved to speed and skill, and then Paul Maurice.
Rest in peace.
Thank fucking rest in peace, Gaudreau. But thank fuck for Paul Maurice looking at it saying, no, Paul Maurice, because you had guys who were dinosaurs like John Tortorella who wanted to keep playing that old style hockey. It's just
Paul
unrealistic.
Maurice does. He's got
Paul
the mix.
Maurice is that mix, and that's what I think hockey should be. It is fast, it is hard, it is hitting, it is physical, but you also have skill. You have those fancy plays. You have the passing the puck around, the moving the puck that you liked from the 2010. It's the perfect combination, and it's fantastic to see, and I think a lot of teams are going to model after it.
Now, I want to actually talk about this. We're going to move to the draft with this conversation.
I think
Porter Martone yells that type of physical.
Porter Martone isn't
power
the only
forward
one
guy,
in this
right?
draft. There's Porter Martone and there's Roger McQueen.
No, but
Roger
I was gonna
McQueen
say-
is a big, mean man.
He is. But is Porter Martone going to be the first pick?
No.
He won't go first.
Do you guys still think it's Schaefer? Misa?
Schaefer or
and
Misa, one of those two.
No,
And that's ju-
I'm going to tell you right now.
Schaefer
it'll be
is
Schaefer.
is who I think goes one.
I think we should. And this is why.
I think it's because that's what the Islanders need.
This is well that, but also he's also because
You don't
he
get a
has-
defenseman
he has-
like him very
he has
often.
that, but he also has one thing you can't teach. So he has the skill, he has the speed, he has the size. I think he's about 6'2", 6'3".
Around there. Hold on.
I think he's around there. But he has a size.
Schaefer or Martone?
Schaefer.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on.
He's-
I will be right back. Sorry, I missed a call from me.
You're good. He has a size. He has a speed. He has a skill. What he also has is he has the character. He spent part of his NHL combine. I think he was at an old folks home, helping out there or something like that. What I read. But that shows character right there. Character is the one thing in the National Hockey League you can't teach.
Yep.
Having
There's a
character
reason
like-
Neil Yakupov isn't running the league right now.
But character and that humble and that ability and knowing that I'm very grateful to play this game, I need to give back to it somehow. That's, in my opinion, what separates the good players from the superstars. Like someone like for example, Crosby, who's done so much for his hometown community. That's a superstar, in my opinion. Someone like Taves and Kane, who did a lot for Chicago when they were there in the community. Like having. Not right now, because we're not talking about Panthers.
Yeah.
I will call you back when we're talking about Florida.
When we're
Fuck Florida. No, I'm joking.
He wants it. He's gonna say the same things as us, and he's a Panthers fan.
well, then there's no point of it.
No.
He'll defend Sam Bennett with you.
Whatever. I don't care at this point.
We're gonna move on to that soon. So, but yeah.
the character that Schaefer has, and character is what I
was gonna
believe.
look up how tall he was.
Character is what I believe makes an absolute superstar in this league. Like guys who that's the same reason why Alexis Lafreniere fell so far in the draft was because
He went first
his character.
overall.
No, Lafreniere. What was it? Shane Wright. That's the name.
Shane Wright.
They
That's
look
the name.
So,
That's the name.
They look so similar, dog.
Yeah, I can see it.
When they both have a beard, they look so similar.
No, I can see
But
why
that's-
Shane
that-
Wright fell. Yeah.
But that's why Shane Wright fell. First off, fraud. No, I'm joking.
I mean,
He's
he's still young. He's still got a chance to recover.
yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought he was a fraud. I don't
either
like
way,
his
that's
ego.
the other thing. That's the thing. Character is something you can't
He's
teach.
6'2".
6'2". So he has the size. But character is something you can't teach. I was just telling Ali how Schaefer took part of the NHL combine to go to an old folks home, I'm pretty sure it was.
That's awesome.
But he went out and he did community service for part of his combine. And instead of doing more interviews. And that's why I'm like, character is something you can't teach in the NHL.
That's he's a future captain in the league, and I think the Islanders are getting a phenomenal piece with him.
And that's why I think that it has to be Schaefer number one, because Porter Martone is and Michael Misa are fantastic players.
I'm sorry. Seeing the Islanders' defensive play, I don't want Misa to die there.
Can we just talk about the Sharks' future forward group here? We've got Michael Misa and Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith on one team.
Not to mention Askarov as their goaltender.
I think Martone is a better fit there.
I think
than
Martone's
Misa.
a better fit there. They need someone with physicality to go with Will Smith and
They're gonna take
Celebrini.
Misa. They're gonna take best player available.
Which is dumb because they don't need the scoring.
I think it's Martone.
I
think it's
Martone will.
Martone. I think
Martone is
Misa-
not better than Michael Misa.
And then I
No,
think
but
Misa
no,
drops
but-
a 3 with Chicago, which is going to be nasty.
The reason why I think be Martone rather than having
His size, yes, but I don't.
not just that. Not just that. It's because
Not
you
after
have
the year
you have
Misa had.
Celebrini and you have Will Smith, who are your wingers.
Celebrini's your center.
Yeah, he can play wing too. If you throw Martone at that center position, have Celebrini and Will
Martone's
Smith.
pure right wing.
Yeah.
Is he right wing?
Pure
Martone-
right.
Am I-
Martone's a
am I
wing.
dumb?
Martone's a winger.
He's a pure winger. He's
Pure
not
winger.
a center.
Either way,
He's a winger power forward, so.
but either way, having a physical guy.
He's your
with
Matthew Tkachuk.
Well,
But
to
having
me,
having a physical guy with your skill guys, like look how it worked in Calgary. You had Lindholm and Gaudreau, who were maybe not as much Lindholm, but Gaudreau at least, who were skilled
Yeah,
guys.
Lindholm just benefited from Tkachuk and Gaudreau.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
but you had Gaudreau, who was a ton of skill, and then you had Tkachuk, who was that physical presence, who could go in the corners, muck stuff up, and that line was, at one point, I think one of the greatest lines in National Hockey.
again, if we're looking at teams right now, I'm going to say this really quick because the camera's going to die really soon. Each team has top 2 centers. Your top 2 centers have to be elite, right? If you're looking at the recent champions, you have great top 2 centers. They have that in Smith and Celebrini.
True.
I think adding that physical presence, like you agreed, is Martone. I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
While we're
Continue.
talking about Matthew Tkachuk, sorry, I have a question.
we didn't even talk about Matthew Tkachuk.
He
We're
brought
talking about Porter
Tkachuk up.
Martone.
No,
I have a
talked about
question
Tkachuk
for
because
you
of the-
two as Flames fans.
Oh fuck.
Why are we cheering for the guy that refused to play here?
Oh, I'm not.
I'm not saying. I'm
not.
saying this for Calgary Flames fans in general.
I can tell you why.
Why the fuck?
I can tell you why. There's
He
two reasons.
refused to be here.
Two reasons. First reason, is because, unlike the situation that happened with Gaudreau, which left a lot of people having bad taste in their mouth until Gaudreau's passing, unlike that situation,
That was the Flames' fault.
Partially, yes, but also there's some players who felt that he should have let us know sooner. The difference is,
If we didn't offer him $8 million the previous summer, which was a disrespectful offer for him, by the way.
I'm aware. But in regards to Tkachuk, I think why they are not as upset with him is because, yes, he said he blank up told them, I do not plan to resign here. And the reason why that's great is because it gives them options. They know
How'd those options work out for us?
Yeah, but on paper at the time, that trade was an absolute fleece for Calgary. On paper at the time, you had a 40-point defenseman and a 110-point forward for a 120-point forward.
Yeah, but you've got a
you've
got a Barkov merchant now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he gave us the warning saying, "Hey, I don't plan on resigning here. This and the other thing. Do what you have to do. I don't plan to resign here," which gave the Flames the ability to say, "Okay, we're doing this." Then they didn't waste a ton of time trying to resign him and getting him contracts for him to walk away in as a UFA, which gave us
Personally,
options.
I still say fuck him.
I still say fuck him.
But this is the other reason why. Fuck Edmonton. That's why.
Kylan has experience with Edmonton fans.
No fucking shot. Fuck those damn.
Allie, I've had to deal with Edmonton fans.
No,
at worst.
South Center is nothing compared to the Dome. Don't even talk to me.
I wouldn't assume it would be.
Hold on.
But there are daily, 3 times a day, we have Oilers fans walk by and boo us.
But
I'm still cheering for Edmonton because
I gotta be honest though. As much as I can say fuck Oilers fans, I can say fuck some Flames fans too. We had a guy come into the studio the other day. My manager at Pro Skate is a Oilers fan. Has some family ties to it, but he's not an obnoxious one. Mm-hmm. He talks about it. He'll cheer for his team.
Not all Oilers fans are awful.
He's a good Oilers fan. And we had a guy come into the store and talk to us. It was a little weird. And then saw that he had an Oilers hat on and legitimately told my manager to go fuck himself.
Damn.
And just said, "Fuck you, you're wearing that hat. I can't talk to you anymore."
Damn.
After being disrespectful towards us in the first place. I'm like that's the thing I can
store.
That's the thing I can say with Flames fans, they can also be dicks. With Oilers fans, they can be dicks.
Flames fans are weird. We had a jersey order request the other day for a Kippersoft Wolf Vernon mix jersey.
Yeah, that's weird.
With 3 different patches on it, including the house, the Wolf house from Game of Thrones. That is front and center on the jersey because of Wolf.
That's weird. But
fucking people.
What I'm saying is either way, they can be weird.
Yeah.
And rude. But a lot of Calgary fans are in the mindset of, I can't cheer for Edmonton. And that's, you know what? I can respect that mindset. Come first.
Especially this year.
There's national pride and for Canada.
I will say, I think there's a lot more Flames fans cheering for the Oilers than there are that are hating the Oilers.
I'd agree.
I
think
agree with that,
it's more of the old school ones that hate the Oilers, but the new school ones, like the newer kids like us, who have never seen a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup, you can't tell me I'm not cheering for the Oilers. You're probably cheering for the Oilers.
I don't care.
Part of you wouldn't be angry to see a Canadian team win a cup, be honest.
The only people I wouldn't be angry to see win a cup in that team would be, I wouldn't be mad to see McDavid win a cup.
I'm turning the TV off before Evander Kane touches it.
I wouldn't be upset to see this would be McDavid. I wouldn't be mad to see Draisaitl win it.
Skinner, Stewart, and Jeff.
I wouldn't be mad to see the Skinners win it, but I also wouldn't be mad, most of all, to see Nuge.
Nuge deserves
in my opinion, if McDavid's not there, Nuge is your captain.
Yeah, 100%.
The year they named McDavid captain, I thought there was an argument for Nugent Hopkins, and that's not a diss to McDavid. That is just Nugent Hopkins has been there. He was there pretty much from the start of the decade of darkness.
He's the definition of an Oiler.
100%.
Yes. But it's also one of those where I wouldn't mind seeing those.
Good.
I wouldn't mind seeing those guys win a cup, but also I really don't want to see Corey Perry or Evander Kane lift the cup. Fuck
Evander
those guys.
Kane, like I said, I will turn the TV off before he touches it. He beats his wife.
And gambles away all his life savings for his children's college.
Genuinely fuck Evander Kane.
And genuinely fuck Corey Perry.
I have no issues with Corey Perry.
I'm growing a soft spot for Corey Perry. Since 2021, I've grown a soft spot for him. I'm not going to lie.
Fucking bitch.
I just find him funny. He's been... I'm sorry.
Off the ice, I have no issue with that guy. Evander Kane issues on and off the ice. Corey Perry off the ice, no issues. Off the
Evander
ice,
Kane, I have no
on
issues with him on the ice. It's off the ice.
In the last 6 years, Corey Perry has made 5 Stanley Cup Finals.
that's why I wanted to keep losing because I think it'd be funny as hell.
Can we get into
Generational hate. Generational.
Can we get into game 1 here? Because I
We're
want
going
to
to in
talk
a
about a
second here.
specific moment from that overtime that I found fucking hilarious.
And then, in general,
All right. Are
With-
we going to game 1?
and we're talking about Florida. Like I'm indifferent because I wouldn't mind seeing those guys win on Edmonton, but on Florida, like I wouldn't mind.
fuck
seeing,
Sam Bennett.
Just talk about Florida. Just fuck Sam. Bennett.
All right. I think that's a great transition.
I wouldn't mind seeing Maurice win a back to back. Okay, Maurice I think is a great coach. I love Maurice as a coach.
I
Let's go see them
can't
watch
lie
now.
about seeing Maurice lift it last year made me happy. Seeing him lift it.
Let's
this year,
get to
I
the
would
main
be
event.
mad.
Edmonton scores straight away. Everything looks
What
good.
what a setup on that.
How about
Yeah.
let's talk about Florida's first goal?
Dog, why do you leave?
Whoa, let D-Dawg cook.
I don't know how to feel about this goal. On one hand, I
Oh,
can
that
see,
one. Fuck yeah.
On one hand, I can see the argument as to why it counted. On the other hand,
Absolute oop there.
Sam Bennett is, like Steve Dangle said on his podcast, a cheater in every sense of the word.
Pissed off at Bennett.
He's a dirty fucking hockey player, and genuinely, I know I'm not alone in saying this. I know a lot of hockey fans agree with me. I fucking hate watching him play. He's a dirtbag, and he might be a great person off the ice. Who fucking knows? I don't know. I don't
he
give
is a
a
good person off the
fuck
ice.
how good of a person you are on the ice. You go around fucking throwing. He's thrown 3 flying elbows at goalies these playoffs. He did it twice against Toronto, once against Carolina, and then in game 1, I accidentally got tripped into the goalie while falling 5 seconds before.
He got tripped.
He tripped over. He backed into.
Either
Kulak.
way,
he
it's-
initiated
it's-
the contact.
Either way, it's still a trip, dude. By the rule, if a player's had their momentum altered to go into the opposing team's goaltender, it is, if I'm not mistaken, that's the rule at least. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I was told at least. If I'm not mistaken, it's still a goal.
I don't think it should have counted. Personally, and I don't like that there was a power play goal off the challenge right after.
Well,
I've
the
s-
reason why is because it was a challenge and it was coming.
I understand why the power play happened. They decided to empower the refs again. Ref empowerment has been such a big thing. They said it with the kick in round 2. We want to empower our refs. That's the reality of the league. It's embarrassing.
Net front battle.
There's an
Sam
angle
Bennett
of it
gets
right
tripped.
here. You can see him kind of start stumbling on his own.
Yeah, because he's being pushed the other way by.
How dare you
other de-
fucking battle in front of your own net?
Yes, but it's still. But being battled in front of your own net. Tell me when you're getting battled, you're not going off your balance a little bit when you're out in battle.
Not like that. I'm not fucking diving into a goalie.
He didn't dive at all, dog. He
He
got
had
tripped.
every intention of hitting Stuart Skinner on this play.
No,
He
you're
had
just, you're just-
every
your-
intention.
Your eyes are blinded by fucking hate, dude.
He had
You're
every
the way of the
inten-
Sith at this point.
Whether he got tripped or not, he would have taken a run at Stuart Skinner here.
He's going the way of the Sith. dog.
Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think it's a good call. The reason why is because Kulak's moving. If Kulak stood still, I would have given him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Kulak is moving here.
That's the issue.
Unfortunately, well, actually, yeah.
You see what I'm fucking saying now?
No.
Do you see what I'm saying, Alan?
Okay. Wait a minute.
He was
No.
falling well before. He started his fall.
Yeah,
he
but-
had
I can
every
see it.
intention
But
to
him
hit Stuart
falling
Skinner.
was still because of the other
No.
Edmonton player pushing him.
He had every intention
No.
to hit Stuart Skinner.
no.
There is zero contact there.
There, no. Beforehand, yes. Oh no, it's ice. He falls. It's fucking slippery from momentum. Oh no.
It's just odd that he didn't go this
It-
way
he
instead
just-
of this way. 'Cause
He
his body was
trying
accidentally
to
fell
gain-
into the goalie.
Oh my gosh.
Accidentally
I
on
don't
purpose
know.
is the name of Sam Bennett's game.
Fucking, this is hurting my fucking brain. Do you not know what trying to regain your balance is?
Not sliding into a goalie.
Oh my.
Sliding into another person isn't gonna fucking help that.
I wish I could see. Wait, is there another angle of this?
Hurting my fucking brain.
I don't believe Sam Bennett does anything unintentionally.
I want to see his feet
D-Dawg, I've
pattern.
seen you fall in more weird ways than that.
I'm not a professional.
Doesn't matter. When you get tripped, doesn't fucking matter. You don't have control of your body. If someone from behind you takes out your legs from behind.
Hold on. I didn't. Kulak barely touches him. If he touches.
Yeah, but he's still getting battle, and then he gets tripped. Like, it is what it is.
Oh shit! I'm falling.
Yeah, but it's the same
It's
thing.
gonna take me an extra 5 seconds to
Okay.
fall so I can fall into this goalie.
Yeah, he's trying to regain his balance.
He's trying to hit Skinner.
He's fucking not. He's not, dude.
100% he is.
Oh.
Right here. He started.
I don't know. That looked a little weak from this angle, at least.
It can be as weak as you want. A trip is a trip.
He fucking.
I could see it. I mean, okay. I think it's the right call because I don't think there's conclusive
It's
evidence.
inconclusive, and because of the call on the ice, you can't call it a no goal.
That's
I
good.
get that, but how many times is Sam Bennett going to do one
Okay.
thing before it gets
Hold up.
called out?
Yeah, but this is the other thing. Think of it this way, okay? It's the same.
Gregory Campbell's daddy works for the league. That's the
I don't
biggest
think it's.
thing.
I don't think it's anything to do with that.
Elbow down there.
Well,
I
at
think
least
it's-
his fucking elbow was down for once.
I
fucking
think it's. I think
dirtbag.
it's another SGA issue where if you know. No, just hear me out, okay?
Comparing Sam Bennett to SGA is wild.
Just give me a second here, okay? If you know how to game the system and get penalties or have the system work for you, same thing with SGA and his fouls. If you know how to have the system work for you, that's a fucking asset. Who cares?
You're right. He does know how to have the system work for him. It's called play for Florida.
I don't think it has to do with that. In that situation, even if he did, okay, even if you're right and he did it on purposely fall, okay, if he knows that the guy's coming behind him and takes him out, and he knows if he falls into Stuart Skinner, it'll be called inconclusive, be called a goal.
Still
then-
talking in general.
Well-
in general, play for Florida and you won't get suspended unless it's steroids.
Either way, but what I'm saying is, if you know how to game the system and you know how to get either a penalty call on you or have a goal called in your way when it's questionable, why the fuck wouldn't you do it? It's a
Sam-
competitive sport.
As long as Sam Bennett plays for Florida, he could kick someone in the face and get away with it.
I just think if he was a Flame, do you think he gets away with it?
No.
In that situation,
No.
yes.
And if he's a Maple Leaf,
Okay.
do you think he gets away with it?
The Anthony Stolarz one, because that one was dirty. He got away with nothing. Does he get away with it if he's a Flame?
Or a Leaf, or any Canadian team.
That's Stolart's one. And
Anywhere
I agree-
but Florida.
I agree that he should have been suspended a game for that.
A game.
Yeah,
That should have been 2.
one game.
It's a fucking elbow to the head of a goalie.
One game. No, one game.
I could argue that too.
One game.
Dude, considering what happened, holy shit, he should be out as long as Stolarz was. I'm
One game.
still pissed about that one.
One game.
And then he tried to do it to Anderson the next round. There's a great behind the net angle of him legitimately throwing himself elbow first at one of the Hurricanes goalies. I don't know 100%
And let's
if it
not
was
forget
Anderson.
that this guy also has a history too. So like, here's my argument: is Kadri got like 5 games for cross-checking someone, right?
For a hit from behind.
It was history. Okay, fine, whatever.
It
right?
was the right call at the time. He should have gotten suspended 5 games for that.
I don't know about 5. I
It was
disagree with 5.
The Tommy
No
Wingles
wonder you
where he
disagree with 5.
buried him
You're
head
telling
first
me
into the board.
Nazem Kadri is more dirty than Sam Bennett.
No.
He should have more suspensions than Sam Bennett.
No.
Huh? What is the difference? I don't know. Maybe one plays in Florida and one plays for a Canadian team.
Is this the Matthew Nyes one?
Like,
This is the first time head trauma started following him around.
you can't
Hold on.
WWE Slam with
Allie,
something like that.
go back a little further. You
That
can
was
see
bad.
him punch
Zero
Nyes
call.
he punched Nyes in the face before dragging him down too.
Yeah. Look, hands right there.
Bang!
Boom. Oh, that's a head slam.
Like he punches him in the head and then drags him down.
You can't do that.
And then last year with Marchand too.
Yep. Like, he has a history of this, and he hasn't gotten a single suspension.
He's pantsing the league.
Yeah. Like,
What the fuck are you doing? Hey, look at that. It's the dirtbag himself talking.
okay, guys. This is
the
AI.
SCRHL posting this.
Wait, what?
Fuck yeah!
Posting an
That's
AI
my
cover.
commissioner!
Look at this. Let's see this.
That's my commissioner right there. Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's
On to the
get
rest
back
of
to
game one.
podcasting, guys. You know, this is
Let's
kind of
talk about the hockey game now that we're done talking about the bullshit.
That was
Correction.
probably the best, second best hockey game I've seen this playoffs.
No, it's best for me.
It was second to me.
That Jets game, Game 7,
That was a good
that was
game,
kind of
but I
special.
That will
I'm not
always be
gonna lie.
number one for me.
The way that Edmonton and Florida play, because they both play that.
Oh.
I
that
don't give a
hybrid
fuck.
style.
It is the moment. It is the biggest moment in the franchise's history, and you can't ignore that.
I will say, I think that one was more entertaining.
For Winnipeg.
I think the quality was better for Winnipeg, St. Louis.
I think that
That
the-
is a
the-
game
the-
no one
the-
will ever
the-
forget.
the
Anyone who
value,
watched
like,
it will
and, like,
remember it
the
forever.
The remembering portion it's more memorable of a game because again of that Manitoba Miracle.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about quality of hockey, I still think that was that
I don't
Edmonton
know,
Florida
man.
game
Those overtimes were fucking
was
good hockey.
Was one of the most entertaining games I've watched in my life.
Those
just
overtimes
the
with St. Louis
both-
and Winnipeg were great hockey too.
The physicality, the skill, the picking each other's team apart for certain aspects. It's
Hold on.
It was a fantastic game to watch.
You do realize that St. Louis and Winnipeg was the most physical series in the playoffs.
I'm
right?
aware that it was, but
This
I'm talking
is
about the
topping
style
it.
game.
I
Yeah,
actually
this
want
is
to
a
say,
top it,
so
dude.
guys, Game 1, I felt like it was very tame considering like physicality wise, considering these two teams.
I
found it very
love
tame.
the only time I will ever say I love and something to do with Vander Kane in the same sentence. It was great watching him fucking
So-
ragdoll Aaron Ekblad.
My question here is, what do we expect for Game 2 tonight?
A
War.
war.
You guys think it's
war.
gonna be like
Paul-
full fight?
This is the thing. Florida.
These two
Florida,
teams are
Florida
adjusting
moved
to each
away a
other.
little bit from their "I'm gonna beat the shit out of you" mentality in that last game. And if you think Paul Maurice isn't sitting there yelling at them, going, "What the fuck were you guys doing? You know the game plan. Why the fuck didn't you stick to it?" Then you're stupid.
I'd be.
like-
I'm shocked knowing Paul Maurice. Thomas Nosek is playing tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, I
Your
think
fourth liner taking that penalty and Jake Wallman with the funniest moment of the playoffs.
Jake
there.
Wallman's a little
Just-
chirpy there.
Oh, he didn't even chirp him. He just straight up stood there and laughed in his face.
that was like the
He
ultimate
just stood
villain
there and
moment.
laughed in his face, and it was amazing.
I love Jake Wallman. Holy
That
smokes.
was so fucking funny. Just ha ha!
I'm
Nice
sorry.
work.
Dude, Jake Wallman is getting $7 million this summer.
He doesn't.
He's
get-
gonna get $7 million.
He's
this summer.
not getting. He's still got another year on his contract.
Yeah.
He does.
Yep.
Edmonton's got him for another year.
Oh, Edmonton.
and he's an RFA.
Oh no, I thought he was a UFA.
All right.
He's
Okay,
an
never
RFA next year.
That is it. Never mind. That's the deal of the century.
But
Okay.
Edmonton looks
If-
like
if we're
fucking
if
geniuses.
we're
dude.
if we're talking about Edmonton in general, though, and we're talking about the Dallas, how we said Dallas didn't show up. Every person at Edmonton showed up. You had your fourth line guys show up, and even in that last game, you saw it. And for some reason, all of a sudden, John Klingberg was brought back from the grave somehow.
He's
Fucking
him.
legend.
John
be-
Klingberg is
Like,
him,
dude
brother.
was brought back from the literal grave.
He
He got
sniped one.
brought
in
back
game
from
5.
Valhalla.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Yeah, it's one of those where, and Edmonton playing well, and I'm enjoying watching the hockey. Do I care which team wins? No. Am I cheering for one team? No. Am I enjoying watching the hockey because it's fantastic hockey? Yes, and that's something that
I'm
if
not
I-
gonna
if-
pretend I'm not cheering for Edmonton.
if I could, well, I'm not pretending. I legitimately just don't care. If
Again, I'm not gonna pretend like someone else here. The bandwagon Knights fan is just still
the
salty
fuck
about
up.
round 2.
no, you know what? No, I'm not salty about round 2. Fucking Edmonton deserved it. My team fell off a
You're
damn
right.
cliff.
You're right. You're salty about 2022 still.
Okay. I think we need to wrap it up due to time constraints here. I just got
Works with me.
a couple more questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I forgot the other one, so we're just gonna go
You're so
straight.
fucking smart.
I know. I am so smart. I had a great question here, and I
So
completely
I'll let me
forgot
trauma
about
go
it.
onto your head.
It is honestly. Sam Bennett hit me before the game. All right.
You caught now
okay.
from Sam Bennett.
Let's wrap it up here. I want your predictions for the finals.
I've got Edmonton in 6.
I think tonight decides it, in my opinion. I think if Florida can have a bounce back game and go back.
If Florida ties the series, it doesn't decide shit.
But that's not what I'm saying deciding it. Tying the series is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about tying the series or anything like that. I'm saying if Florida can go back to the way they were playing in that series against the Leafs specifically.
Hold on.
'Cause
I'm gonna
the
bring up the
Carolina
Leafs
one-
series as well for you here. Tonight won't decide it because the Leafs led that second round series 2-0.
They dominated those first two games.
and they
those first two games felt to
dominated the
act.
Panthers. And for the first 2/3 of the third game of that
Third
series
period?
too.
Yeah.
Up until the last 10 minutes of the third.
They got an unlucky bounce. Overtime could have gone either way. They got an unlucky bounce.
You know what?
Fine.
I will retract my.
This is a conversation I've had with Clayton, who is a Panthers fan. If Anthony Stolarz didn't magically get hurt, who knows how that happened? I think the Leafs sweep the Panthers.
Samuel!
No, so I'll retract by saying I think
God knows how
think-
how Anthony Stolarz got hurt. I can't. It definitely wasn't someone specific doing what he does best.
I think in the next two games, I think the next two games is what will decide the series, and this is my reason.
So hard to say that after the almost reverse sweep last year.
No, 100%. But this is the reason why
both these teams are so good.
But this 100%. But this is the reason why I think it is. I think if the Panthers can come back, because like even in the reverse sweep when the Panthers went 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final last year, Edmonton wasn't playing well, but they weren't playing god awful.
Well, like
you know what I mean?
I've seen several people talking
can
about
pop
last
back
year's
up.
game one. It was Edmonton dominated them. They just got goalied.
Yeah.
But it looks
So-
like Edmonton's figured Bob out, which is scary.
But in
I'm with you on that.
in general, if Florida can bounce back to their style, the way they play hockey, because if Edmonton sort of has
Doing it so well, too.
Edmonton and Florida both have a hybrid of old school, new school style, like speed and skill and physicality. Edmonton leans more towards the speed and skill with relying on physicality a little bit. Florida's the opposite. They lean more on physicality and then the skill afterwards.
It's because they have no fucking skill outside of fucking Barkov.
Okay, moving on from Devin's rants. When you're talking about this,
That's not a rant. It's a fact.
I would argue it, but I think we need to wrap it up soon.
yeah,
so.
no, it's just generational hate for Florida.
Generational.
They have no fucking skill outside
This
of
man's about to drop
Barkov.
Meet the Panthers. Holy shit.
Yeah, no kidding. Just hit him up, Panthers edition.
No, I'm just
Dear
gonna
Matthew, I'm
very, very happily shit
Dear
on them
Bennett.
every loss.
Dear Bennett.
No, and I want to make it very clear. I would not say any of the shit I'm saying to Sam Bennett's face because I don't want to eat an elbow.
No Vaseline, Sam Bennett edition.
Oh, shit.
No, what I was gonna say
I'm
is
not that musically
I think
inclined.
I
Come on
think
now.
that if Florida can bounce back to their style of hockey, I think it'll be a good series. It'll go to 7 again. I think if they continue playing the way they did last game, specifically
It's gonna be short.
in the second and third period, the first period they played well, but specifically in the second and third period where they kind of let it go a little bit.
Florida dominated the second period.
Oh, yeah. They did great.
True, but in their
Florida
in their D zone, I didn't
dominated
find them
that long
as
change.
true. Okay, but specifically in the third one then.
Third and overtime, yeah.
In the third, if they play like the way they did in third and overtime, I think that it'll be a quick one again for Edmonton. Because again,
I just don't know if Edmonton can be. And I'm saying this based off of the best player in the world has that look in his eye of who the fuck is going to stop me.
no,
Connor
I
Brown
agree
is
with you.
locked in right now.
No, I agree with you on that.
Yes, that's who I was
And
talking about.
there's
That
also
Connor.
also a look of like Gretzky.
only Connor on that
Gretzky
the
got
only
to his
relevant one, that's for sure.
Gretzky got to his Stanley Cup final first time, lost, won the very next year.
Can we
Crosby,
point out
same
the
thing.
fact that they
McDavid,
both
no.
those guys did it against the team they lost
Yeah,
to?
I know. Yeah. So there's that, but I also
Not yet.
Both of Gretzky and
Crosby.
not McDavid, Crosby have done it against.
Oh, yeah.
Did
well,
do
they've
it against.
made it. Well,
History repeats
McDavid
itself.
hasn't won the cup yet. There's still
History
3 games
repeats
to go.
itself.
But I think if Florida can pull back their hockey, it'll make it an interesting series and go to 7. I think if they play the way they did in that, like continue the way they were playing in that third and overtime, that's what I mean. The last 2 periods, I forgot they were overtime because I'm retarded. But if they keep playing the way they were, I don't think.
Just
that
make
it'll
sure
be
you
a-
don't shoot the puck out of play. That's the only thing this league will call you on, Florida. You'll get away with almost everything else because you're.
All right,
Guy's
guys. I think
dad
that's enough
works for
Florida
the
hate for
fucking
today.
Yeah, generational.
Thank you for
Florida hate,
watching.
dude.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Fuck Colin
Fuck
Campbell.
And we will see you guys. Honestly, this podcast is very, very, very.
We'll see you
We'll
when we
see
do it
you when we
scheduled.
have time
So
to
we
do
will
it again.
see you when we see you.
We will see you when we have time.
All right.